Hello and welcome back to The Howl. I'm your host, Chloe Manolis, and unfortunately, we could not have Coach Gerber here today, but we are pleased to have JV Boys Volleyball coach in the Hersey Dispatch studio. And of course, powered by Jets Pizza. Now let's jump right into it. So, how you doing today?
Great, thanks Chloe. It's exciting to be here.
Yeah, of course, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm just going to ask you a few questions regarding like how last season went and just go with the flow, you know?
Great.
And to start off, how was last season? Like, give me a rundown of the highlights, the good and bad.
Good. We had a great season, top to bottom. Varsity, JV, and the freshman teams all had a tremendous amount of success all year long. It was a great group of kids. We had a lot of fun along the way. The varsity team went to the MSL championship game against Barrington. And so that's a highlight to win the East, and then had a disappointing loss against Barrington. But then we moved on to the state series, and the boys won a regional title, which was awesome.
Oh, awesome!
And then we lost in sectionals, but it was a fun year.
Yeah, and I know that you had a few of the seniors leave last year, correct? And a few of them I think are continuing on to do it in college. So. We'll see how that goes for them. And you had a few of your juniors return back for this year, correct?
Yeah.
And like talking about that, like how are the tryouts? Like how do the seniors look? How do the newcomers look?
Yeah, that's a good question. Tryouts were tough as usual. From the freshmen to the seniors, we had some really tough decisions to make, and unfortunately we couldn't keep everybody.
Yeah.
But as of Wednesday night, we were done with tryouts. We've had our first practice yesterday.
Awesome.
And so we've got 11 seniors that are all vying for a varsity spot, but then we also have some freshmen, sophomores, and juniors that are also vying for a position on varsity. So we'll see how that works out in the next week and a half before our first match.
Yeah. So your talk about how you had to remove a few of the seniors or like the people on the team last year. Like, do you mind telling me why that is? Like, did it just not catch the part?
Yeah, it's tough. Every year we try to make the best decision.
Yeah.
And also take into consideration the depth at each position, right? And so sometimes, a kid we worked with last year, we have to tell them, sorry, we don't have a spot for you this year. And so we like to think that they all move on and they find other things to do and they're happy and maybe they are running track now, or they got a job, or they're volunteering somewhere, or whatever. So, that's the worst part of our job, for sure, is the tryout piece. Where
it's hard being honest.
Oh, yeah, it's super hard.
I bet. And, like, what are things do you plan on doing anything differently this season? Like, just regarding, like, the plays, the games, practice, all the sort?
That's a great question. We just got rolling. So we will, try to use film as much as we can to help,
Really?
Make some changes in our game and point some things out to the guys. Here are the things you're doing well. Here are the things we need to work on. So I'm sure we'll use huddle highlights and use that to help our team make some changes.
Yeah, I know you guys do a lot of highlights, like especially at I saw a bunch of like the state championships and just like practice in general. Like you guys seem pretty good, and I am definitely rooting for you guys, and especially like the MS. When is MS? Like speaking of that, when is MSL coming?
Yeah, that'll be in May sometime, right? So we're just getting going. So we have to we play some non-conference games to start off our season, and then right after spring break we start our East Division matches and some tournaments, and then so we got to go 2 times through all the East teams, right? Like the Wheelings and the Buffalo Groves, and we see each of them two times, and then so not until I don't remember what the timeline is. It must be May that we reach the conference title match.
Wow.
That would be the goal,
right? That's definitely exciting.
I know the varsity boys have that goal in mind, right? To win the East, right? To make it to that championship match.
And you talked about how the goals and just like going to the MSL, like, and that's going into May, right? That starts in May. Like, especially at the end of the year, like, that the seniors are definitely focusing on like graduating and just like their sport, volleyball, like. It can become a lot for them, and just like, does it go past graduation? Like, does it go into June?
Sometimes it can, yes, depending on how deep you get into the tournament, the state tournament. It can go beyond graduation.
Okay.
And To me, if I were a senior and I was still playing after graduation,
Yeah.
that would be so fun. You're with your team still,
Yeah.
loving playing and loving the game. And so I hope that's the way they see it too.
Definitely sentimental. And I feel like I guess a few of seniors are just like they want to get out of there. They don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I feel like your players are definitely very committed to the sport, especially with like the seniors that have been on your team for what, like 3 years now.
Yeah.
Like I bet they're very committed and they do not mind it one bit.
I would like to think if they love the game as much as they think they do, they want to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing until the very end, right? Whenever that is.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like it's part of their life, you know? And from a coach's point of view, you already talked about like the goals and expectations like with regarding the team, but what do you as a coach expect from the team in general, or like what do you just hope for it to happen?
Yeah, I guess the number one thing that the three coaches expect out of all of our players, no matter what the level is a commitment to the team, right? And you are a team, so we expect that you are responsible and you show up on time and you help set up the nets and then you encourage your teammates and you communicate and all those little things, right, that turn into big things at the end and really contribute to the team dynamic. So, the other piece would be, giving 100% on every single
Definitely.
drill, right? You're trying to get better every single time you touch the ball.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
right. So we expect that from them too.
Has it like is that the same thing pretty much for every year? Like just keep going, more improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like that. And personally, I like volleyball. I've never been really good at it, but I have a volleyball right here. I actually stole that from my gym class, and I think volleyball is a great sport. I think it is so fun. Even though I'm not the best at it, it is so fun to just like jump around and like jump over the net.
And it's
Spike
gaining
it.
more and more and more popularity.
Yeah.
In the fall, the women's college teams, there was huge
Added that
popularity.
new rule
Right.
too.
Yep, and they this Nebraska team played in front of 95,000 people.
Yeah.
And it was televised, and it was they were breaking records left and right as far as viewership goes, as the game continues to gain more and more popularity. So
What's your guys' best record?
our best record?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. That's a great question. I would have to go back and look at the.
I'll look that up for you. I'll list that. I'll
Yeah.
write that down. We can bring it up next
Yeah, we'd have
episode.
to look at maybe old yearbooks. Right?
Definitely.
I know that on the boys' side of things, there have been a couple of times where they've made it downstate. I think we had a second place finish downstate.
Ooh,
maybe
good for you
maybe
guys.
Before
Okay.
I was coaching, right? And then a few years back, we made it to at least the quarterfinals downstate. We lost first
Awesome.
round, but it was a good run.
Oh, definitely good run.
yeah,
Like
it
no
was
matter
fun.
what, like even if you guys didn't win, it was like
Yeah.
definitely a lot of commitment to it. And I guess it was pretty fun. Like it definitely like at the edge of the seat all the time. Ooh,
Yes,
yeah.
and we were the underdog. I don't remember the specifics, but we may have been like a 3 seed in our sectional going into it, and beat the 2 seed, and then beat the 1 seed, and went downstate. So to be the underdog was kind of exciting too.
Oh, definitely. I do not blame that one bit. How do you prepare the team for games? Like, is it like, when you guys practice, is that any different from like, let's say girls volleyball or basketball, football?
No, probably the same. So, we spend a lot of time doing skill development, but then the closer you get to game time, the preparation sometimes is you scout your opponent a little bit and talk about tendencies that they might have and adjustments that you might make based on who you're facing, right? And then sometimes you're just focusing on what can we as a team do better, no matter who our opponent is.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just like team building, team bonding.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. That's nice. And have you seen like a lot of like just like let's say freshmen for example, like when they join the team, like do you see like a lot of more like social skills, like just like in general like life skills, like improve that
Yeah,
and
I
just
think so. I think naturally when you're involved with in a group dynamic that it can't hurt, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you kind of naturally get better at that the communication piece, the being part of a group piece, and that's what's so fun about it too.
yeah, especially like being like involved in a sport in high school, like it is so important to get yourself out there and just like talk to people and be social and like trail back to what I just said, like the freshmen that have been here since freshman year, like gone into senior year now, like have you seen the the big improvement in them?
Yeah, and especially in the guys' side, because they changed so much physically
Right.
from
Yeah.
freshman year to senior year. Right? So that's a big reason behind it, and the other big reason is they're getting more and more experience. Right?
Oh,
They're
100%,
playing-
yeah.
Maybe playing club or just the experience they're getting working with us each year is making them better and better. So.
Oh, 100%. Definitely agree with that. And to end it off, gonna bring up MSL again. So let's say you guys are headed into MSL and like you guys lost to Barrington last year, and are you guys prepared to face it off again?
Yeah,
Like
I
what
think
are you
the
guys
guys
gonna
would
do when you
love
approach
a
it?
rematch,
Yeah.
right? But we have a lot of games and a lot of matches between now and then to get better and better and better. So I think that I hope that that's in their mind, but I hope it's not too much in the forefront of their mind because we got a lot to do before we get there. But yeah, that would be exciting for sure.
Definitely. I'm so excited for that. I will definitely be looking forward to that, especially since I have two friends of mine, one that goes to Prospect and one that's actually my media class. They're both, one of them's on the volleyball team and one's on Prospect, and they keep talking about MSL.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm very excited to see how it goes down. And I think that pretty much wraps it up, everybody. And thanks again for joining me. You have any questions?
No, this
Renee?
has been really fun. Thanks for letting me come.
Yeah, of
stop by.
course. And again, sponsored by Jets Pizza. Thank you. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again in the next episode.